Hello there everybody, this is Graham, also known as the Collector 75, and welcome back to another Transformers review. For this review I am going to be doing the 1987 or 88, I can't remember exactly, TRIGGERBOTS and TRIGGERCONS. Right, let's get on to the first figure. I'm going to do the Autobot ones first. These aren't exactly the best figures of G1. In fact, these come towards obviously the back end of the line, and showed really that they were just producing silly gimmick after silly gimmick, and not really taking much interest in the robot at all, really, which is a shame, because he did have a nice little gimmick, and I'm going to show you the first one here, which is Override. As you can see, he's a fairly sort of like futuristic motorbike. You know, you've got no sort of like problem seeing that this is a toy, not like the early sort of like Diaclone versions of the G1 toys. You know, he doesn't look too bad, really. Oh, let go away his little gimmick there. You know, he doesn't look too bad. Obviously, just a futuristic motorbike. I've got to stop pushing those little buttons. There we go. The little wheels will turn and everything. But, you know, he's all right. He's not too bad, really. Of course, now then, being called the TRIGGERBOTS, these, of course, did have a gimmick, which they had trigger-fired weapons. Now then, we're going to show you his here. You can just about see them. Just here, you can see these little guns poking out. They do look like kind of like exhausts, so they will get away with it in this mode. But anyway, here we go. They've got a little blue button on either side. Going to fire the first one. There it is, like that. And then the second one, going to get closer, like that. There we go. See, and then he's got these guns ready to fire in cycle mode. You know, it wasn't too bad really. I suppose it works. Anyway, right, we're going to fold them back just for the robot mode. And this is a bit of a shit transformation. We're just going to extend him there, flip up the little windscreen bit, flip back his front wheel, turn him round. I can't remember which is the front now. There we go, this is the front, and then we just sort of like push this back panel down like that, revealing the robot head. There he is, and there we have it. There's a little robot, and he's got his little arms. That's about all the articulation he's got in this mode, which isn't great. The feet don't separate or nothing, and it's pretty shit. This was like a basic little toy, really. I didn't actually own none of these when I was a kid, so I can't really say too much about its play factor, because obviously I never played them when I was a kid. So, but this one works fairly well, because then you push his little button like that, and he looks like he's holding his little guns, which are pretty damn cool, if you don't mind me saying even. There we go. And, you know, he looks pretty cool. Anyway, right, so that's Override. We're going to put him down. Move on to the second one, which is, I was going to say the worst one of the lot, but most of these are actually pretty shit. This is Backstreet. As you can see, he's like a futuristic Le Mans racer or some sort of like racing car or whatever. As you can see, he's got his guns just hanging off the back here. I don't know whether they're supposed to be exhausts in this mode or what. Now, and the front wheels do sort of turn, and the back wheels are just literally stickers, which is annoying. He does have this little tiny little wheel there that he does sort of like roll on if you were to put him on the ground and roll him along, which is shite, to be honest. Now then, he's got a little button just there. We're going to push this, and then his guns will flip forward like that. And he can use them in this mode fairly successfully. It doesn't look too bad at all. It does sort of like leave giant gaps in the back of the car, unfortunately, but there we go. Now then, we're going to flip those back, and we're going to transform this guy. It's very easy. We just extend the front section, flip these down, form his feet. Now then, we rotate this giant back section like that to form a little robot. And he's got his little tiny little arms just here, which will move a little bit. You can push them out in front, like to try and smack someone in the face, but, you know. Now, the biggest flaw with this fella is this giant backpack he's got on the back of his head, which, of course, you know, does allow him to use his guns in this mode. But it's just hanging off there, and it looks horrible. It just doesn't work for me, this one. Probably the worst one of the Autobots. But, saying that, he looks okay with his guns, I suppose. We're going to pop him there. Move on to the last of the Autobots, because there was 3 of each of these. This one is Dogfight. As you can see, some sort of like futuristic jet. He's got the swept forward wings and everything. You know, that's about it for this mode, really. There's nothing else to say about it. He does have the guns, as you can see, they're just sort of like hanging here. Kind of like exhausts, maybe, or some sort of jet thrusters. I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be in this mode. But he does have this little button here, and if it works, because he don't always work in this mode, these guns will flip forward. Let me just try and find somewhere to hold it from. As you can see, it does sort of work. And then he's got the guns sort of flip forward and now swept back wings. And it does look a little bit better in this mode, if you ask me, because then you can fly about, sort of thing, shooting things, which isn't Yeah, it isn't bad really. Now then, we're going to transform this guy. I can't remember exactly. I think to transform it, we've got to have the guns pointing forward. We extend him there, get this little bit, flip it up like that, and then that's basically him. We can just rotate this horrible thing back, and it just becomes this giant bit of kibble just hanging off the back of him here. Now then, there he is. As you can see, he's got his hands down by his sides. Now then, I think if we push this, will it rotate up? No. You've got to do it manually, really. You can't do a lot about it. I don't know whether this figure's just doubled and it don't work properly or not, but there we go. That's about as best you're going to get it. He's got his little guns under his arms, of course. And, you know, I do like they've given him guns by the side of his head. He's got like a little, machine gun type thing here. And then some rockets on this side of his head, which is pretty cool. Do like that. And there we go. Now then, was it him? Maybe I just didn't have it extended the other day. I was trying to stand him up. Yeah, there we go. He wouldn't stand up properly, but now he will. Right, so now then, we're going to move on to the Decepticon ones. We are going to move on with my favourite of this group, and that's not saying a lot, which is Windsweeper. He's, of course, some sort of aeroplane. I don't know the name of this type of aeroplane, so don't ask me. But, you know, it don't look too bad. It would have been nice if they'd given it a little bit of articulation on these wings, because they do look like they can be swept forward a little bit. But they didn't. Anyway, that's him for this mode. Does have little wheels under it, and he's got some back wheels here, which he will sort of like happily roll on if you wanted him to. This is probably my best condition one of the whole of these figures, because the stickers are pretty immaculate. And they are originals, not repro labels or nothing. Right, now and of course he's got the same gimmick. We push little buttons just here to sweep the weapons forward. There we are, nice chromed up weapons. Like I say, it's probably the best one I've got. And I can never be bothered to try and upgrade these lot, trying to look for new ones, because they're pretty dire really. Anyway, so he don't look too bad now with his weapons out. There we go. So he can fly along shooting people with these weapons. We're going to transform him, and unfortunately his transformation is pretty dire as well. We just extend that there, like that, so you can see the gap there now. You've got to rotate this like that, and that becomes like a heel spur. And then we get this tail section, and we just rotate it back there. So that's a side view, and he's got this horrible kibble everywhere. It's horrible. And then we can rotate his arms forward like that, so he can punch things. You can just about make out little fists there. And then we're going to flip his little guns forward. They do work quite well. I do like his little guns in this mode. I think he did appear in the UK comic. I can't remember now, about issue 213, maybe 215. Who knows? I can't remember now. It's just off the top of my head. Anyway, there we go. And he does look pretty cool with his weapons out. And without them, he looks pretty lame. So we're going to pop him there. Now then, we're going to move on with Crankcase, who's just like a little Jeep. I put my own little labels on the front there to give him some headlights, because otherwise it looks pretty damn plain. This one isn't in very good condition, unfortunately, as you'll see when I get to robot mode. When I first got this guy, I didn't know how the hell to, what this gimmick even was, so I couldn't even remember it from when I was a kid. But the guns will flip out. You push this one on top, and they do rotate out like that. So he's got these guns coming out of the windscreen for some reason. You know, a bit strange, but there we go. Anyway, flip them white, they will sort of stay. There we go. Yeah, and that's it really. Nothing else to say about it really. Transform this guy. It's not too bad. You extend that. And then we rotate this sort of like top section all the way to there. Before we do that, actually, I'm going to pull out his robot head, which is in here. As you can see, he's got paint chipped off the front of his head there. I can never be bothered to get him your version of this. I should really, I suppose. But I just can't be bothered. Anyway, that is him in robot mode. He's got his little arms there, and they'll rotate out if he wants to hit people and do whatever. Now then, the guns will work in this mode, of course. Push it again, and they flip up to that position where they would have been for the car. Push it again, and they rotate right on his shoulders, which don't give him a bad look, really. Not too bad. It's just side view on, he's got this giant bit of kibble here, which obviously makes him a bit heavy, but he does stand up well, because they use this bit here as a heel spur. He doesn't have a problem standing up, he just looks a bit awful. And then the next guy. This guy is very strange because his guns don't actually flip out in, what's this? It's like a futuristic dune buggy mode. This, of course, is Ruckus. He doesn't look too bad, really. I do like this mode. This is pretty cool, pretty playable. Now, and as you can see, these bits here are the guns, just hidden by my finger there. These won't flip out at all in vehicle mode. You can't get them to move. You can push the button all you want. all they do is flip round to this position, which is pretty damn useless for the car mode, so they just sit there, but you can imagine them firing away. There we go, there's a little 360 of him there. Now to transform him, I think we extend that a tiny bit like that, and then just flip out. Oh no, we've got to move the guns forward, I believe. Ridiculous, this one. There we go, flip those round, and then there we have it. That's him in robot mode. You can move his arms if you wanted to, like that. Just put them there, but you've really got to sort of like have the guns out already. But you can flip them down to the back, just have them hidden away, and then to surprise people, you can just sort of push the button, whichever way it goes. There we go, and they'll flip out round. Not too bad, really. You know, overall, definitely one for the collectors. Not really one for people that think, oh my god, I've got to have them because they're brilliant. They're definitely not. And speaking of figures that aren't very good at all, and probably some of the worst of the entire G1 line, I'm going to show you two extra figures which I found when I was looking for these guys. So I thought I'd review them as well, which is of course the TRIGGERCONS. Now then, these were you can tell that this is a neat idea, but just unfortunately the gimmick completely overruled the aesthetics of the figure, therefore let it down unbelievably. Right, the first one I'm going to show you is Battle Trap. Now, and of course, with the TRIGGERCONS, you had two vehicles that combined to form a robot. Should have been really cool. Unfortunately, it was a complete and utter fucking letdown. This is the first part of Battle Trap. He is a Jeep, of course, or some sort of armoured car. Who knows, really? It's not done anything, really. It does have a weapon. This one here, double-barreled thing. It's got a little hole just in the top there. Don't know if you can see it, but just there. And you can pop it in there quite happily. And to be honest, that's what I usually use it with this vehicle, because otherwise it's pretty useless, really. He's got a Decepticon sign just on his door there, you can put it on. Anyway, I'm going to show you the second part. This is, of course, the helicopter, which is probably the worst helicopter you've ever seen. He does have a spinning rotor blade, but that's about all he's got going for him, really. He has no paint applications. He's just got one sticker on his tail fin, there and there. Doesn't have a secondary rotor at the back, or nothing, really, and that is it. Complete and utter shite. You can put the weapon as well, just under here. Oh, and you go the gimmick away. There we go, so you can hold the guns under there. Right, so you take the gun off, put it down there. And then with these, you're supposed to take the first one, and he's got three little pegs just here, and they fit into these three little slots here, like that. Push them down, that releases the spring mechanism. Then you push down on the rotor blades, that flips that forward. Then you let go, and he stands all the way up. If my finger wasn't in the way. That is the robot mode. He's got no feet, it's just the bottom of the truck. His arms don't even move, so they're just basically painted on. And with this gun, you're supposed to stick it in a hole on the top of his shoulder. Like that. There we go. And that's as good as this guy gets. Doesn't get any better, it's absolute rubbish, really. If only it got better, but it doesn't. This is the second one, which is Flywheels. Sometimes I think the names should have been reversed on these guys, because Battle Trap sounds better for these guys. This is a tank and a plane, and Flywheels would have suggested more for the other one, but there we go. Who knows? Anyway, this is the first part of Flywheels. He's a sort of futuristic tank. Does have a little gun as well. This turret only goes up and down. Not really doing much else. It does look pretty cool. It's a nice little tank. No paint applications or nothing, but he does have tank treads imprinted on the bottom there. It's pretty cool. This is the jet that comes with it. Again, just one sticker on the tail fin and a little Decepticon sign. And no paint applications. It's complete wasted. It's just horrible. You can put the gun just under the nose cone, like that. But it looks awful, so I keep it on the tank, which is just here, like that. And it doesn't look too much better, but at least it looks better than on the bloody plane. Yeah. Still, there we go. The only good thing about them, you could say, is they did take the trouble to put two of the rub symbols. There you go. You got one on him there and one on there, so it's pretty cool. In the comics, these guys were more like triple changes, really, because I don't think the writer could be bothered to even try and flesh them out as having two vehicles that combined. Really, I don't think he could be bothered. Again, the same principle. We just stick him on the back and then let him flip up like that. Again, the arms don't move forward, but at least these ones do move out to the side, like that, which means he could shoot someone at the side of him. And again, you put the gun in his hand like this, so he can hold the gun, but he can't shoot anyone in front of him with it. For some reason, I don't know why, but they've given you a secondary peg, just there, which you can put in his hand like that. So he could sort of shoot someone with it like that, which is a bit silly, but there we go. This one does look the better of the two in robot mode, but it's just a shame they just couldn't be bothered to give it a little bit more articulation in the arms, and it would have made it 100% better, really. Just very let down. But these were very cheap. I think they were about £6 when I bought them. I bought both of these when I was a kid. This is actually my original figures, funnily enough. That's why I think Battle Trap is actually a bit yellowed. But there we go. You know, I just repo labelled these guys up, give them some new labels. Anyway, these are probably, like I say, two of the worst figures. And just overall gimmickness just ruined the figures, really. But there we go. They were experimenting back in the 80s, you know. Don't have the toy aesthetics what you have got today with all ball joints and everything. So back then they were pretty damn novel. And as a kid I sort of did like them. So there we go. Anyway, hope you liked this review. This has been Graham, Collector 75, and I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.